Hi, and welcome to Raise and Shine TV. I'm Maya Stewart, Program Manager for First 5 Mendocino's Raise and Shine program. Today we're going to talk about hurting others and how that is hard on everyone, as well as planned ignoring. So we're back. I'm Maya. This is Lorianne, and
Hi.
Today we're going to be talking about hurting others and about whining and how best to work with that with your child. So hurting others is a really, really tough one because I think that it is almost as hard on the parent whose child is doing the hurting as it is on the parent of the child who is being hurt. What kind of experiences have you had in the classroom setting?
Well, it's definitely hard on everyone, like we said. In a classroom setting with 30 children in a classroom, some conflicts are bound to happen. And whether the child is being hurt or whether that child is, hurting others, we do have to sit down eventually and speak with the parents as well as with the child. And it does affect everyone in different ways. And so as a parent, are there specific ways that you've addressed those types of issues?
Well, I would love to say that I was fortunate enough to never have those issues come up, but that would not be quite exactly the truth. It is a really difficult situation. It was a big surprise for me to have my child hurt someone because, of course, I never thought that my sweet little boy would do something like that. And it did only happen a couple times, but I do remember them really vividly because it was painful. And it seems to me that the times that he really became aggressive like that, there was something else going on. He was either sick or he was hungry or we had overextended a play date. There was some other kind of a factor that's just sort of made that point tip to where he just couldn't be a very friendly human being anymore, I guess is the best way to put it. And I have had it go in both directions. I've had my child hurt, which is also very painful. You want to protect them from everything, as well as the one doing the hurting. And what I ended up doing myself was having a conversation with the other parent and with the teacher in one of the situations, because I thought, there was no way I could really put that on my young child to take care of himself.
Right.
And I thought it would also be an opportunity for us to be good examples of how to work stuff out.
I definitely think, being a good example, being the model for that kind of behavior is really important. Whether you're the adult in the classroom, whether you're the adult at home, understanding that if you're frustrated, the way that you show that in your own home or in your own classroom is being
all the
seen.
difference.
It makes, it definitely does. And then another thing that you pointed out was, maybe that play date was just extended a little too long, and both parents maybe noticed that a child was getting antsy, or a child was, supposed to go down for a nap and missed it. And so being aware of those different things as well, and maybe shifting gears and being okay with changing the plan a little bit.
Right, not holding too hard to it. I think that's a difficult thing for us as adults as well, to know our boundaries and to not increase our own fun stress. And stress is stress, whether you're enjoying your activity or not. It can still become overwhelming, and children aren't prepared to deal with those kind of feelings yet, and it really is our responsibility to help teach them how to best set those limits. So that is all of the time that we're going to have today for hurting others, but we will be back shortly with a conversation about whining and planned ignoring, so we hope you'll stay with us. Thank you.
Hey Rachel, so I have these books in my hands and I see that you have a bunch in yours. I heard this thing about Imagination Library. What is that?
So the Imagination Library is a program started by Dolly Parton in 1996. She really wanted to focus on child literacy because she felt so involved in her own upbringing, being read to as a child. So she decided to make sure every child until they're 5 years old receives a free book once a month.
That's an awesome
idea. I know.
idea.
And what's great is we have an affiliation here in Mendocino County where you can just go ahead and sign up through First 5 Mendocino or your local library, and you get a free book once a month for your child until they're 5 years old.
That's great.
And they're all really good quality. If you can see, They're brand new. They're chosen by a bunch of educators, publishers, teachers, so we make sure we have the best quality books we can.
That sounds great. Is there a website that I can visit for that?
Yeah, of course. If you actually want to go check it out, you can check out mindochildren.org, and you can also check out your local library, and they'll have information for you there too.
Perfect. Thanks, Rachel.
Thanks.
Hi, I'm Paula Gasca with Mendocino Organics, and I'm here with Lorianne today to talk about community-supported agriculture.
Hi, Paula. So community-supported agriculture is definitely a term that I've seen online, kind of heard about it. Can you tell me more about it and where I can find more information?
Sure. Well, you must have first heard about it on mendocinolocalfood.org. Community-supported agriculture, also known as CSA, is a mutually beneficial relationship between community members and a local farmer, where people in the community purchase a share of the season's harvest at the beginning of the year, and then throughout the growing season, the farmer harvests and distributes directly to members their share for that year, for that week.
That's great. And are these vegetables that are part of something like that, part of a CSA?
Yeah, these carrots and this broccoli came from this week's vegetable CSA share. And as you can see, they're really fresh, they're flavorful, full of nutrients, and you don't have to think about what you're going to purchase at the grocery store.
That's true. And so remind me again that website that I can go to check all of this out.
Sure, mendocinolocalfood.org, and you'll find a whole CSA directory for all of Mendocino County.
Perfect. I will be sure to get to that website. Thanks, Paula.
Thanks.
Welcome back to Raise and Shine TV. We are talking today about planned ignoring and whining. Some of my least favorite conversations happen about whining. I imagine that this is also a problem in the classroom. I've experienced it from a parent's point of view, but what kind of experiences have you had, and do you have any tips for us about how to work with whining children?
Sure. Well, in a classroom, your situation is always multiplied by 25 or 30, and you don't want to give in to 5, 6, 7 kids.
Can't imagine.
Poking at you, asking very specific things, not wanting to do, an activity. So planned ignoring is definitely a skill that you learn very quickly. One thing that really helps, I think, is right from the beginning is setting very specific expectations of what the next, let's say, 40 minutes of activity time is going to look like.
So the children can be sort of prepared.
Exactly.
Some of them have difficulty transitioning, others may not, but that way everybody has an opportunity to know what's going to happen next.
Right.
Okay.
Exactly. And obviously you're always going to have 1 or 2 children who absolutely do not want to do an activity. And whether that's at home or in a classroom, it's going to happen. And, when that happens, the whining comes.
And I would do anything to go back to grade school or kindergarten.
Exactly.
I want to spend all day in a place like that.
Exactly.
So I'm wondering if some of the people who are watching have any idea what planned ignoring is, because it could sound a little bit
daunting.
Or loaded. I'll just ignore my child all day, and that's really not what it is.
No.
We all grow accustomed to our own children's behaviors, and we know if we reflect back on them what it is that really, really gets us. And whining has always been one of those for me. I have a real whiner. And it got to a point where it was starting to put a lot of stress on our interactions, and I really just wasn't enjoying that time that I had with my child, and I felt really horrible and guilty about it. And so I actually went to a Triple P positive parenting class out at Mendocino College, and I worked through that challenge about this particular child, and the planned ignoring was the one thing that really, really helped change that balance for us. So I became prepared for those whining moments, those times of the day when it usually happened, or the issues that it usually came up around, the whining came up around. And so I just planned to ignore it. I breathed through it, I counted, whatever it was.
Right.
And then I really made sure on the flip side to appreciate and acknowledge those really good requests, those well-formed, mommy please, using your words properly kinds of conversations. And then when the whining started to happen, I can't speak to you when you're having that kind of voice.
Right.
And
Right.
after a couple of days only, she was catching herself and able to change that pattern, and our communication just became so much more enjoyable.
Yeah, and I feel like you can definitely tell that difference when the child, your child in particular, is understanding, okay, I'm not getting a reaction to this behavior. I need to find a different way to communicate.
We're all looking for attention.
Mm-hmm.
We just want our needs met, and
Mm-hmm.
however that works, that's what we'll do. And it can be really tough. It can be hard to just ignore, and it can feel really bad sometimes. But I think if you've got a grand plan, and it is for the best for you and your child, then it's definitely worth giving it a try. If you've got more questions about planned ignoring or hurting others, our previous topic, or any other parenting questions, feel free to contact us at 707-462-1233 or www.raiseandshine.org. We'd be happy to hear from you. Thanks, and have a great day.